I don't remember being raised by you. And what's with this approach, Toby Frank? Isn't this kidnapping?
Don't say such rude things.
Cindy said as she smacked my cheek so hard that it made a loud noise. Do it more, I thought to myself. Soon, the taxi arrived at a slightly dingy-looking three-story building.
Surprised, I'm the CEO's wife and living the high life, and you guys are still bottom-tier pua. That's why I thought you deserved a piece of the pie.
So she's definitely trying to take advantage of us. Eventually, I firmly declared with the help of my mom, Maria, and father, who had located me. No, my mom is only this person. For 3 times the length of time you raised me, this person has been by my side, providing a warm home.
So what? Are you willingly living a pool life with this sick person?
As Cindy said that, my father burst into laughter, looking genuinely amused.
Ha ha ha. Hey, Cindy, let me introduce you to my family with a $500 million in your revenue.
What?
My name is Catherine Ruth. I'm 18 years old and just started college this spring. I was finally able to enjoy the days away from stress after I was admitted to university.
Hey, isn't it about time?
My father, Ronnie, in an apron, shouted from the staircase leading to my room on the 2nd floor. I got it. I also raised my voice. That's because today is the day for the university enrollment procedures. Since I've decided to attend a university in the next state, I need to receive explanations about dormitories and apartments from the school.
Maybe Dad should come along after all.
I'll be fine, just me.
Really?
Dad nodded, looking a bit lonely.
Mom wanted to come, too.
It's because of work. Can't be helped. Yes, we're a family of 3. However, what's a bit different from other families is that my mom earns outside and my dad is a stay-at-home dad. My dad, Ronnie, is 48 years old now. Mom, Maria, is 48 years younger than him. And she and I aren't related by blood. But for me, she's the only my mom. The woman who abandoned me, a 3-year-old girl, and my sick dad to become the mistress of some company president I would never recognize as my mother. I would never accept her. My biological mother left us 15 years ago. Her name is Cindy. I'm so furious just mentioning the word mom, so I always refer to her in my mind without any honorifics. Still, I wouldn't dare say such things in front of Dad. He's a very kind person. If I were to speak ill of my biological parents like that, he'd surely look so sad. I don't want to see that sad expression on Dad's face. I want to keep watching Maria, my mother, gently laughing between us. There are 2 reasons why Cindy abandoned us 15 years ago. One is my dad's illness. The other is her affair with the president of the company she was working part-time for at the time. At the time, my dad couldn't reproach Cindy for her infidelity. He simply didn't have the strength. My dad's illness is basically incurable. And at that time, the symptoms were particularly severe. Upon hearing about it, Cindy reportedly shouted angrily at my dad.
Incurable. So you're saying it's a terminal illness?
In a hospital room with several beds lined up, my dad was understandably disillusioned by Cindy's insensitive remark. That's why he easily signed the divorce papers she handed him. He couldn't allow a woman like her to be my mother. At the time, I was left in the care of my paternal grandparents, who hugged me and cried, feeling sorry for me. It wasn't until I entered high school that I realized half of those tears were out of frustration. They're now in a distant nursing home, living comfortably, but apparently during that time, the atmosphere was always tense due to Cindy's mistreatment and my dad's illness. My environment changed drastically when Mom and Dad met. My dad's illness wasn't immediately life-threatening, but at the time, a long hospital stay was necessary. During this time, he needed constant intravenous medication. Now he's leading a normal life, but back then, he was always accompanied by an IV stand. It was during this time that he met Mom, who was also hospitalized. At the time, Dad was 33 and Mom was 25. Dad was doing some work remotely from the company back then, trying to get by. The company probably wanted to keep Dad, who was a capable employee, on board somehow. But even that wasn't looking good. It was at that time that they met. Mom was hospitalized due to overwork and stress at the time. Transitioning from busy days to hospital life, she was apparently having gloomy days. As the two got to know each other and shared their situations, they apparently reached the conclusion that things might work out if they were together. They seem to keep quiet about the details, probably because they can't tell their daughter everything. However, even for these two, getting married right away wasn't feasible. Especially for Mom. It seems like people around welcomed an early marriage. But it wasn't easy to understand, especially since the partner was 8 years older and had a child from a previous marriage. My mom, from my perspective, has always been kind yet strict. She'd spoil me, but also scold me when necessary. After being discharged, Mom would visit Dad tirelessly between her busy work schedule. And over the years, she and I grew closer, managing to gain understanding from those around us and getting married in the 5th year since they met. And for the next 10 years, we lived happily and peacefully. However,
Catherine, are you Catherine?
a voice I didn't recognize called out to me as I obtained the university paperwork and was about to head for the dormitory information. It was Cindy.
Hey, Catherine, do you remember me? I'm your mom.
With those words spoken in a coaxing tone, Cindy approached. I was startled and started to run away. Everyone must be confused. Since the age of 3, I've never met or seen the woman who claims to be my mother. May I ask who you are?
Don't be so formal. I'm your mom.
Now that she mentioned it, she was the person in the photos from the album. My grandma once mentioned to me that I still had photos of that woman. It couldn't be helped. In my photos until age 3, this woman inevitably appeared up close to me. Dad probably endured seeing her because he didn't want to throw away my photos. By the way, I heard the kind reason from Mom herself. Unfortunately, I don't know you.
What? Are you angry because I didn't come to see you?
With a wry smile, Cindy approached slowly. If you follow strangers, my family will be angry.
Don't say such cold things.
Saying that, Cindy reached out her hand, so I hurriedly shook it off and went back home. I heard humming as I opened the door to the apartment. My dad was preparing meals in the kitchen. Every single day, Dad would think of dishes that Mom and I liked and cook them. but I wanted to settle this matter before Mom came back. Dad. I rushed into the kitchen, flustered.
Oh, Catherine, what's wrong? You look pale. And you're earlier than expected. Oh,
Yeah, I'll talk about the dorm later. As I sat down at the dining kitchen table, Dad gave me some water, and then I said this. That woman was at the university.
that woman.
Yes, it's her. The one who abandoned us 15 years ago.
What?
Dad instinctively pulled the chair next to me and sat down.
You recognize her well, Catherine.
I've seen her in photos, and besides, she was desperately trying to get close to me.
That's troubling.
Dad crossed his arms and nodded. Hey, what do you think I should do? That woman might show up at the university again.
It's possible. There's no need to meet her. We shouldn't have any connection with her anymore. But still.
Scratching his head, Dad furrowed his brows.
Why did she suddenly approach Catherine?
What do you mean? Dad didn't answer that. After a while, Mom came back. Welcome back.
I'm home. Thanks for preparing my favorite food for dinner.
I think it's Mom's good point that she always brightly expresses her gratitude without hesitation. Her job is really busy. She leaves early in the morning and comes back late at night most of the time. She might be busier than the average father in ordinary households. I don't know whether it's because of that or because she's concerned about me, but Mom never tried to have her own children. I've asked her lightly before, and she responded like this.
No, I'm actually too busy to even think about having a child. Besides, Catherine is my only daughter.
Even so, I think it's impossible for her to have never wanted children with the person she loves. But including that, I respect and appreciate her, and I hope she'll be happy forever. Fortunately, she's still only 40 years old. If she wants, she can still have a child. Even if I go to university or become independent in the future, it might be better for there to be a child between the two of them. Besides, we have a very capable house husband in our house. From that evening on, my phone was constantly ringing with calls from an unknown number. Dad, what's this? Showing him the call history, Dad hurriedly pulled out an old address book. It must be a number not registered in his current phone. As he flipped through the address book, eventually looking very displeased, Dad let out a big sigh.
It's her after all. How did she get Catherine's number?
I don't know. It seems she hasn't changed her number at all.
That seems to be the case. Well, she was never one to bother with inconvenient things.
Then Mom, who had just finished showering, called out while drying her hair.
What's wrong? You seem quite serious.
Dad signaled with his eyes what to do. I nodded. Mom, actually, today, Cindy suddenly showed up in front of the university. She wanted to see me.
What did you say? Are you okay? Did anything happen?
Dropping the towel, Mom immediately showed her concern for me. I'm okay, nothing happened, but I had to postpone the dorm or apartment introductions, so I'll have to reschedule for another day.
Goodness, I wish I could go with you.
Saying that, Mom let out a big sigh.
Ronnie, please go with her next time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's handle the dorm and other procedures together then. How about Monday?
Sounds good.
Mom said, then she fell into deep thought. My dad drained her hair with a towel my mom threw out and dried her hair with a hairdryer. I think they're a good couple when I see them like this. I want our family to stay like this forever. That's why I'm scared to think about what Cindy, who suddenly appeared out of nowhere, might be thinking. And after spending the entire weekend at home, on Monday, I decided to go back to the university with Dad to complete the procedures. We were leisurely walking the way to the station. The university is a few stations away from the nearest one. The two of us strolled along leisurely. We talked about dorms and apartments. However, suddenly I felt my body losing balance.
Hafferin.
Dad shouted. My right arm was grabbed, and I was pulled into the taxi.
Driver, let this car out quickly.
A familiar voice pierced my ears. It was Cindy. I saw Dad panicking through the window, but before he could open the door, the taxi took off. What on earth are you doing? Finally regaining my composure, I shouted loudly.
Because you kept ignoring my calls.
Who answers calls from unknown numbers repeatedly these days?
Exactly. That's why I came directly like this.
As Cindy leaned in closer, I hesitated slightly at her intense gaze.
Would you mind coming with me without saying anything?
No, thanks.
How rude. I'm your mother, you know.
I snorted at her words.
What's with that attitude?
Do you really think you're a mother to me? Choose my words carefully, clearly conveying each one. Make sure it's loud enough for the previous driver to hear.
Because I gave birth to you. You're my daughter.
I don't remember being raised by you. And what's with this approach, Toby Frank? Isn't this kidnapping?
Don't say such rude things.
Cindy said as she smacked my cheek so hard that it made a loud noise. Do it more, I thought to myself. Eventually, the taxi arrived at a slightly dingy 3-story building. Where are we?
My company. Surprised. I'm the president's wife, living the high life. You guys are still poor bottom feeders, right? So I thought you deserved a piece of the pie.
She's trying to take advantage after all, I thought. Once inside the building, Cindy pushed me into a nearby room and locked the door. What are you doing? As I kept banging on the door, I shouted to Cindy outside.
Just wait here for a moment.
What's going on? I quickly sent a message to my dad that I was here. I took a screenshot of the map's current location and the view from the room's window and sent them as well. Immediately, I received a reply, just stay still, I'll do something. Of course, that's what I intended to do. Soon, Cindy unlocked the door and pulled me out. As she grabbed my arm, we climbed the stairs together and reached a room on the 2nd floor. We could hear voices from inside. Cindy swung the door open with a loud bang. As expected, there were several people inside. From the position of the desk and whiteboard, it seemed like a meeting.
What in the world is this? We're in the middle of a meeting.
Among them, a younger-looking man with glasses stood up and approached us. Cindy also pulled me inside as she entered.
What do you mean, Edward? I think I have the right to participate in a meeting to decide the future direction of the company as his wife.
We didn't call for you.
Oh, I don't think you should talk like that to your stepmother, do you?
I see. So basically, this guy Edward with the glasses is the president's son. But the white bod has something written about the next management policy or something. And the president himself isn't here. What does that mean?
You're just the old man's second wife. Besides, you've been involved with him since my mother was around. What kind of stepmother are you?
That's right. After the president passed away, there should have been discussions after the funeral about what comes next.
Cindy, what on earth are you doing here all of a sudden?
Oh, acting all high and mighty, just because you used to be my boss.
For some reason, Cindy pushed me forward.
Hey, Edward, the girl who's like your stepsister is struggling to pay for university. Can't you spare a little money for her tuition?
What? I was taken aback. Is that why I was brought here?
Tuition.
Edward's tone changed slightly.
Yeah, this girl is my real daughter. Just turned 18. She's just started university, living in poverty with her sick father. So, if you have any intention of supporting this girl even a little bit, couldn't you allocate a bit more of his estate to me?
I looked at Edward's face. I could easily sense his discomfort. All right, it's time for me to speak up. What are you talking about? I haven't heard anything about this.
What are you saying?
But it's true. I was suddenly brought here.
Suddenly.
Edward latched onto my words. That's right. Suddenly, I was trying to go to the dormitory procedure with my dad, not the university procedure.
So, university procedures are already done, including tuition.
Yes, exactly. Edward glanced at Cindy. She seemed puzzled, as if she sensed something odd. Edward continued to ask me.
So, why are you here, and how did you get here?
By taxi. I have no business here myself. I was forced to come here by this person.
Shut up.
With that, Cindy slapped the other cheek this time. What a powerful hand. My cheeks were stinging. Doesn't this person know how to take it easy? Anyway, I thought I'd try to buy some time. My dad, whom I contacted, and probably my mom too, will take some action. Until now, I had to somehow extract as much information as possible from these people.
I see. You really don't know anything, huh?
Edward started.
I'm the son of the former president of this company. I'm technically supposed to be the president from this fiscal year. So, are you my stepsister?
No, I don't feel that way at all. I said firmly. I was abandoned by this person when I was 3 years old, along with my sick father. At that moment, I felt the surrounding air turn cold all at once. Of course, all eyes were on Cindy. Why is she so thoughtless? Does she think I'm still the same 3-year-old from when we parted ways? Does she think I, now a university student, would just obey her words out of fear? Perhaps those 15 years don't exist in her mind. I remember it well. You've only called us once, haven't you? I remember what you said then.
What did I say?
You said the same thing to me just now, that you're the president's wife and living the high life while we're just poor folks from the bottom. That's what you said while laughing. I felt the people around us recoil all at once.
Did she really say something like that? When was it?
Well, you mentioned living the high life, so that means you got remarried, right? I had no idea about that. I think it was about 10 years ago.
Going off to university means you were still in elementary school back then. Were you really told such terrible things at such a young age?
Yes, I nodded. But by that time, her words weren't really that big of a deal anymore. And then it happened. There was a flurry of people running into the company building.
Catherine, are you okay?
Catherine, are you all right? Where are you?
I could hear the loud voices of my dad and mom. Then there were several pairs of footsteps following them. I poked my head out into the hallway and shouted, "Over here, Dad, Mom." Relying on my voice, they rushed down the stairs and the hallway even faster.
Catherine,
With a clack, they opened the door.
You're safe, Catherine. Thank goodness.
My mom exclaimed as she flew into my arms.
Oh my goodness. We were so worried.
I'm fine, just got slapped on both cheeks.
Oh, slapped twice, huh?
Someone behind my parents stared at my face intently and aimed a camera.
A quick picture, please.
I stuck my face out firmly for him. My cheeks stung from Cindy's slaps, but I made sure to capture it as evidence.
Hey, who are you people?
Cindy pointed at my parents and yelled,
oh, so you've forgotten the face of your ex-husband from 15 years ago.
Ronnie, is that you? What's with this lively appearance of yours?
What's wrong with being lively?
"Well, I guess that's why I couldn't immediately grasp the fact that my dad was with me. Apparently, she genuinely believed that my dad had been bedridden due to illness all this time.
You said it was an incurable disease.
I'm not cured. It's just that I can live even without being cured. Do you know what remission means?
Remission.
Apparently, she didn't know it.
Remission refers to a temporary relief or disappearance of symptoms. There's a chance of recovery, but the risk of recurrence is high.
Yeah, that's why he's not cured. He always have to be careful about his physical condition, take multiple medications regularly, and continue to visit the hospital regularly.
So, incurable disease isn't just a lie.
Cindy picks up on that remark from my mom.
What about you?
What are you doing to my daughter? That slap on her cheeks.
She's my daughter. I can do whatever I want, can't I?
I can't just stay silent there. No, my mother is the only one for me. She's been by my side, providing a warm home for me for 3 times longer than you raised me.
So what? Are you willingly living a pool life with this sick person?
Ha ha ha.
My dad bursts into laughter, seemingly finding it amusing.
Hey, Cindy, let me introduce you to my family and the company with an annual revenue of $500 million.
Well then, nice to meet you again, Cindy. I'm Maria Ruth, the wife of this person. You abandoned him and our 3-year-old Catherine to become the mistress of another man. I've heard the story, but it's still unbelievable how shameless you are.
That's quite an interesting story. I'd like to hear more about it.
This time, Edward also gets interested in the conversation.
Oh, by the way, Mrs. Ruth, speaking of $500 million in revenue, are you by any chance the president of TL Corporation?
Yes, that's right. We should have been doing business with them.
My mom flashes a bright smile at everyone except Cindy. Yes, this person who supports our daily lives with such dedication is the president. Since her 20s, she's been entrusted with the major role of being the company's president. The first time she met my dad was when she couldn't bear the heavy burden of the sudden responsibility that fell on her and ended up hospitalized due to the physical and mental strain. My mom was born as the only daughter of the founder's family. However, she lost both her parents in an accident. At the young age of 25, she took over the presidency, but she was truly troubled by the high expectations from those around her and the difficulty of meeting them. Then, when she was hospitalized for severe stress-induced gastritis, she met me when I came to visit my dad, who was aiming for remission. I heard that my dad said this to my mom at the time.
It's important to entrust things you can't do anything about to someone you trust.
That seemed to greatly ease my mom's mind. And afterward, amidst the meddling of relatives who kept pushing for matchmaking, she decided to marry her father, who made her feel at ease and natural, where she could even rely on him, despite being tired of the interference.
You seem quite thrilled after becoming the president's wife following the death of the previous one here. Well, my current wife is the president herself.
That's right.
Edward chimed in.
TL Corporation handles all the specialized cleaning tasks for our company's related departments. And this person here is the president of that company. If you have even a slight interest in economics, she's someone you should know.
Cindy was dumbfounded by Edward's words.
Yes, that's correct. We handle cleaning operations in a very broad sense, from regular cleaning to more specialized tasks. I believe we've had dealings with them since my father's time, but it seems we should reconsider the contract this time.
Mom remarked, surveying the group with a stern expression.
Right? It would make sense to terminate the contract with a company associated with someone who'd go as far as kidnapping our daughter. Can't trust them.
Upon hearing this, the senior executives present shifted uncomfortably.
Please spare us.
Our business wouldn't survive without the cooperation of your company.
Oh, really?
Cindy looked bewildered by what was being said.
Cindy, did you really not know about that? And yet, you've been trying to stop me from becoming the president and even attempting to withdraw money. Ignorance can only go so far. In fact, your presence in this company is nothing but harmful, isn't it? Right, everyone?
Absolutely.
Jay, that's right.
The company's senior executives voiced their agreement.
Wait a minute, are you saying?
In the first place, didn't we already give you your inheritance from my father's will long ago? What happened to that money? Are you suggesting that you've spent it all in such a manner, or was it originally some kind of debt?
Edward pressed further.
You must have used it for something, right?
Mom interjected.
A suspicious person approached my daughter the other day, so I hurriedly checked you out within 2 days.
Well, in those 2 days? Oh, right. It was on the weekend. And the lawyer who took photos earlier nodded.
As per the president's request, we conducted an investigation into this person's background, and it seems they've been lavishing a young man with money for quite some time now. Moreover, it appears the payments have been overdue for a while, perhaps prompting demands for repayment.
Wow, so that's what she was up to. I shot Cindy a look of disbelief.
Thank you for looking into it.
No problem. It's not good to have someone with serious issues like that involved with our business partners.
Sure, any harm to such companies should be dealt with as soon as possible.
Edward chimed in, and our lawyer nodded in agreement. Suddenly, several men entered from behind.
Cindy Hayes, you're under arrest for abduction and confinement.
The men with police badges stepped forward, handcuffing Cindy.
What's going on? I just took my daughter with me.
You divorced me ages ago and even dumped custody on me, didn't you? You're considered a stranger by that point.
And I don't recall receiving any child support from you. What right does an absentee parent have to say anything? I added exasperatedly. And to think, you have no idea how wrong your actions were, like snatching me right in front of my dad into a taxi.
How dare you?
I don't care if you're mad. This needed to be said. I fixed Cindy with a stern gaze. I never wanted to think about you. Just disappear from my sight and never show your face again. Cindy froze at those words. All right, let's go, the police said, pushing her out. Cindy was formally arrested for abduction and is currently being interrogated. What a sloppy crime. Not noticing Dad walking nearby was one thing, but the fact that she abruptly dragged me into a taxi is the biggest issue. Inside the car, I had a conversation that wasn't of my own volition, emphasizing that I currently have no feelings towards her. I wanted to make it clear to the driver that I was clearly not happy about it. As expected, the suspicious driver apparently broadcasted our conversation over the radio. And it seems the top brass at the taxi company found the conversation and its audio recording suspicious, so they recorded it. But seriously, it was incredibly stupid of Cindy not to confiscate my smartphone. With today's smartphones, it's commonplace to easily pinpoint your current location and send a map image. Well, I was taught crisis management skills by my mom, and apparently she was taught methods to locate herself at home just in case something happened. By the way, it seems Cindy embezzled a considerable amount of money, as the company is now demanding reimbursement. In the future, there will be a criminal trial for confinement, and well, there's no doubt she'll end up behind bars. We won't show any mercy, regardless of what the other side's lawyer says. Cindy should learn her lesson from her own folly.
Okay, smile, smile.
On the day of moving into the university dormitory, Dad and I lined up in front of the house taking photos.
Okay, next it's my turn.
With that, Mom handed the camera to Dad, and they switched positions for taking photos.
You two look really beautiful when you're standing together.
Dad chimed in, albeit a bit awkwardly. Must be the spring weather.
But you know, we won't be able to see each other for a while.
Mom said, her voice trembling with emotion. Dad patted her shoulder reassuringly. Seeing them like that, I spoke up. Hey, I have a favor to ask.
Oh, what is it?
I really want to see my little brother or sister. And just like that, both of their faces turned red.
Isn't it a bit late for that?
Not really. I mean, Mom, you're 40 now, right? You're still plenty young enough to have kids. And I'm already an adult, so how about you and Dad live alone for a while and show me my little brother and sister?
Don't say things like that.
Mom said, hugging me tightly.
You're my one and only daughter.
Well, but Mom, you're someone who's filled with love more than anyone else, so I'm sure you'll feel lonely without me.
Oh goodness. That's why I should have sent you to a school closer by.
That's impossible, I chuckled wryly. Well, the truth is, wanting to see my little brother or sister and feeling lonely without me are just excuses. Mom is currently the head of the company, but I don't think it's right for me to take over after her. Dad agrees with that, too. After all, I'm her stepdaughter, not Mom's biological child. Even if Mom treats me as her own, others won't acknowledge it. This company, in particular, is a well-established mid-sized enterprise that has been around for a long time. It has a tradition of family management in a positive sense. She's not unaware of the fact. After a moment of silence, Mom nodded decisively.
You're right. Then maybe I'll give it a try, just a little bit.
She hesitated and then smiled a bit shyly. Whichever way things go, we're still a family. We've been doing fine until now, and I'm sure we'll continue to get along well in the future.